Question 1. A project team is developing a new mobile application using an adaptive life cycle. The product owner is struggling to prioritize the backlog items effectively, leading to frequent reordering and some team members feeling confused about what to work on next. Which of the following techniques would best assist the product owner in prioritizing the backlog? A. Earned Value Management, EVM. B. Risk Register. C. Moscow Prioritization. D. Work Breakdown Structure, WBS. Answer: C. Moscow Prioritization. Moscow prioritization is an effective technique used in Agile environments to categorize backlog items into must-have, should-have, could-have, and want-have, this time, providing a clear framework for the product owner to determine relative importance. This helps bring clarity to the team by giving a structured approach to deciding what is most critical for delivery, addressing the confusion about what to work on next. For instance, a must-have feature is essential for the product to be viable, while a could-have is a nice-to-have if time permits. Prioritization is key in adaptive environments. Master techniques like Moscow to help your product owner guide the team effectively. Question 2. During project execution, a project manager identifies that a critical supplier is consistently delivering materials late, impacting the project schedule. The project manager needs to document this issue and determine the appropriate response. Which project document should the project manager update first? A. Project Management Plan. B. Risk Register. C. Issue Log. D. Stakeholder Register. Answer: C. Issue Log. The issue log is the primary project document used to record and track all identified issues, along with their descriptions, impact, ownership, and resolution status. A supplier delivering late is a current problem requiring immediate attention, making it an issue rather than a potential risk or a change to the overall plan. Updating the issue log ensures that the problem is formally recognized and managed until resolved, which is crucial for maintaining project control. Keep in mind that risks are potential future problems, whereas issues are current problems. Always capture current problems in an issue log to manage them effectively. Question 3. A project team has just completed the sprint review and is about to start a new sprint. Which Scrum event facilitates the team's commitment to the work they believe they can complete in the upcoming sprint and results in the sprint backlog? A. Daily Scrum. B. Sprint Retrospective. C. Sprint Planning. D. Product Backlog Refinement. Answer: C. Sprint Planning. Sprint planning is the Scrum event where the Scrum team collaborates to define the sprint goal and select the product backlog items they intend to complete during the upcoming sprint, resulting in the creation of the sprint backlog. This event ensures the team has a clear understanding of what they will deliver and commits to that scope for the sprint, which is vital for focused work. For example, if the team determines they can deliver 3 high-priority features, those features form their sprint backlog. Remember, commitment and clarity for the sprint are forged in sprint planning. Question 4. A project manager is leading a large, complex infrastructure project. Midway through the project, the client requests a significant change that would alter the project's scope, budget, and timeline. Which project management process should the project manager follow to address this request? A. Perform integrated change control. B. Control quality. C. Validate scope. D. Plan stakeholder engagement. Answer: A. Perform integrated change control. Perform integrated change control is the process of reviewing all change requests, approving changes, and managing changes to deliverables, organizational process assets, project documents, and the project management plan. A significant change affecting scope, budget, and timeline must go through this formal process to ensure it is properly evaluated, its impact assessed, and approved or rejected, maintaining control over the project baselines. For instance, this involves analyzing if the change fits within the project's objectives and whether additional resources are needed before it is implemented. Always use a formal change control process for significant alterations to protect your project's integrity. Question 5. In an Agile project, the development team consistently fails to deliver the committed stories by the end of the sprint. What is the most appropriate next step for the Scrum Master to facilitate? A. Reassign team members to different roles. B. Extend the sprint duration for the current sprint. C. Facilitate a discussion during the sprint retrospective to identify root causes. D. Increase the number of stories committed for the next sprint to compensate. Answer: C. Facilitate a discussion during the sprint retrospective to identify root causes. The sprint retrospective is a key Scrum event dedicated to inspecting how the last sprint went with regards to individuals, interactions, processes, and tools, and identifying what improvements can be made. If the team is consistently failing to deliver, it indicates systemic issues that need to be discussed openly and collaboratively to find root causes and agree on actionable improvements. For example, the team might discover they are overcommitting, have technical debt, or face external dependencies. This continuous improvement mindset is critical for Agile teams, so use the retrospective to foster self-organization and resolve underlying problems. Question 6. A project manager is calculating the estimated cost at completion, EAC, for a project. The project currently has a budget at completion, BAC, of $500,000, actual cost, AC, of $200,000, and earned value, EV, of $180,000. The project manager believes that future work will be performed at the budgeted rate. What is the EAC for this project? A. $520,000. B. $500,000. C. $480,000. D. $550,000. Answer: A. $520,000. When future work is expected to be performed at the budgeted rate, the formula for EAC is actual cost, AC, plus budget at completion, BAC, earned value, EV. In this scenario, EAC equals $200,000 plus $500,000 to $180,000 equals $520,000. This formula assumes that past performance variances will not repeat in the future and that the remaining work will proceed as originally planned. Understanding how to calculate EAC under different assumptions helps forecast the project's final cost accurately, which is crucial for effective cost management. Always choose the EAC formula that best reflects the project's current circumstances and future expectations. Question 7. A project team is experiencing significant resistance from a key stakeholder who believes the project will negatively impact their department. The project manager needs to develop strategies to gain this stakeholder's support or minimize their negative influence. Which project management document would be most useful for planning these strategies? A. Communications Management Plan. B. Risk Register. C. Stakeholder Engagement Plan. D. Quality Management Plan. Answer: C. Stakeholder Engagement Plan. The Stakeholder Engagement Plan outlines strategies and actions required to effectively engage stakeholders based on their needs, interests, and potential impact on the project. When facing resistance, this plan is the primary tool for identifying specific approaches to increase support or mitigate negative influence from key stakeholders, such as planning targeted communications or meetings. For example, the plan might suggest a one-on-one meeting to understand their concerns and find mutually beneficial solutions. Understanding and actively managing stakeholder engagement is fundamental to project success. A well-crafted plan is your blueprint for navigating complex relationships. Question 8. A project team has adopted an Agile approach. During the project, a new regulatory requirement is introduced that necessitates a significant change to the product's architecture. Who is primarily responsible for ensuring that this new requirement is incorporated into the product backlog and appropriately prioritized? A. The Scrum Master. B. The development team. C. The project sponsor. D. The product owner. Answer: D. The product owner. The product owner is solely responsible for managing the product backlog, including its content, ordering, and availability. This includes incorporating new requirements, like regulatory changes, and ensuring they are prioritized appropriately relative to other features to maximize the value of the product. While the development team will build it and the Scrum Master will facilitate the process, the product owner holds the ultimate accountability for what goes into the backlog and its sequence. Think of the product owner as the voice of the customer and business, making crucial decisions about what the team builds next. Question 9. During a project's execution phase, the project manager realizes that the probability of a major supplier failing to deliver a critical component on time has increased significantly. This could lead to severe delays and cost overruns. What is the best proactive approach for the project manager to take regarding this situation? A. Ignore the risk and hope the supplier delivers on time. B. Implement an immediate project shutdown. C. Update the risk register and develop a risk response plan. D. Inform the client about the potential delay and ask them to intervene. Answer: C. Update the risk register and develop a risk response plan. The risk register is the document that contains all identified risks, their potential impact, probability, and planned responses. When the probability of an identified risk increases, the project manager must update the risk register to reflect this change and then develop or refine a proactive risk response plan to address it, such as identifying an alternative supplier or expediting the current supplier. This proactive approach ensures that potential issues are managed before they become problems, rather than simply reacting to them. Effective risk management involves continuously monitoring risks and having strategies ready to minimize their impact. Question 10. A project team is developing a new software system. The team regularly conducts meetings to demonstrate the latest increment of work to stakeholders and gather feedback. Which Agile event is being described here? A. Daily Scrum. B. Sprint retrospective. C. Sprint review. D. Sprint planning. Answer: C. Sprint review. The sprint review is a formal Agile event where the Scrum team and stakeholders collaborate on what was done in the sprint. The development team demonstrates the work they have completed during the sprint, and stakeholders provide feedback on the increment, which can lead to adjustments in the product backlog for future sprints. This event promotes transparency and allows for adaptive planning based on real-time feedback, ensuring the product evolves to meet stakeholder needs. Imagine showing a working piece of software to get immediate reactions, rather than waiting until the entire project is done. Question 11. A project manager is faced with a situation where a key project stakeholder is highly interested in the project's outcome but has very little authority or power to influence decisions. According to the stakeholder engagement matrix, which engagement strategy would be most appropriate for this stakeholder? A. Keep satisfied. B. Manage closely. C. Keep informed. D. Monitor. Answer: C. Keep informed. The stakeholder engagement matrix, or power/interest grid, helps classify stakeholders based on their power and interest levels. For stakeholders with high interest and low power, the most appropriate strategy is to keep informed. This means providing regular updates and information about the project's progress and outcomes, ensuring they are aware without necessarily involving them in decision-making processes. For example, sending out regular newsletters or progress reports would be suitable. Understanding how to categorize and engage different types of stakeholders is crucial for harmonious project execution. Question 12. A project manager is developing the project schedule and needs to determine the earliest and latest possible start and finish dates for project activities. Which scheduling technique would be most appropriate for this purpose? A. Monte Carlo simulation. B. Critical path method, CPM. C. Resource leveling. D. What-if scenario analysis. Answer: B. Critical path method, CPM. The critical path method, CPM, is a schedule network analysis technique used to determine the longest path of planned activities to the end of the project, as well as the earliest and latest possible start and finish dates for activities. It identifies the critical path, which represents the sequence of activities that must be completed on time for the project to finish by its deadline. For example, CPM helps identify activities with zero float, meaning any delay to them will delay the entire project. CPM is a fundamental tool for understanding schedule flexibility and identifying crucial activities for time management. Question 13. A project team has just finished building a feature in an Agile project and is ready to show it to the product owner for acceptance. Which of the following best describes the state of this feature? A. In progress. B. Ready for refinement. C. Definition of done, DOD. D. Potentially shippable increment. Answer: D. Potentially shippable increment. In Agile, particularly Scrum, the goal of a sprint is to produce a potentially shippable increment of product functionality. This means the feature or set of features is completed, tested, and meets the team's definition of done, DOD, making it ready for immediate release if the product owner chooses. The DOD is a checklist that ensures quality and completeness, but the actual outcome ready for review or release is the increment itself. Think of it as a complete, working piece of the product that could theoretically be given to users right away. Question 14. A project manager is reviewing the project budget and notices that the project has spent $150,000 to date, but the work performed is only valued at $120,000. The total budget for the project is $300,000. What is the Cost Performance Index, CPI? A. 0.8. B. 1.25. C. 0.83. D. 1.0. Answer: A. 0.8. The Cost Performance Index, CPI, is a measure of the cost efficiency of budgeted resources, calculated as earned value, EV, divided by actual cost, AC. In this scenario, EV is $120,000 and AC is $150,000, so CPI equals $120,000/$150,000 equals 0.8. A CPI less than 1.0 indicates that the project is over budget for the work performed, meaning it is costing more than planned. Understanding CPI is crucial for monitoring project cost performance and making timely adjustments to keep the project within budget. Question 15. A project manager discovers that some deliverables produced by the team do not meet the specified quality standards, leading to rework. Which quality management process focuses on identifying these non-conforming deliverables and recommending corrective actions? A. Plan quality management. B. Perform quality assurance. C. Control quality. D. Manage quality. Answer: C. Control quality. Control quality is the process of monitoring and recording results of executing the quality activities to assess performance and recommend necessary changes. This process involves inspecting deliverables to verify that they meet the specified quality requirements and identifying any non-conforming work that requires rework. For example, a quality control team might perform tests on a software module and find bugs that need fixing. This is distinct from perform quality assurance, which focuses on the processes, not the deliverables themselves, to ensure they are being followed correctly. Question 16. In an Agile context, Which of the following is primarily responsible for removing impediments that hinder the development team's progress? A. Product owner. B. Project manager. C. Scrum master. D. Development team lead. Answer: C. Scrum master. The Scrum Master serves the team by removing impediments that block their progress. This role acts as a servant leader, facilitating the team's ability to deliver value by addressing obstacles, whether they are technical, organizational, or interpersonal. For instance, if the team lacks a necessary software license, the Scrum Master would work to acquire it. While other roles might assist, the primary responsibility for impediment removal rests with the Scrum Master to ensure the team can maintain its flow and focus on delivering increments. Question 17. A project manager is initiating a new project and needs to ensure that all relevant parties are aware of the project's existence, objectives, and their roles. Which document formally authorizes the project and names the project manager? A. Project Management Plan. B. Business Case. C. Project Charter. D. Scope Statement. Answer: C. Project Charter. The Project Charter is the document that formally authorizes the existence of a project and provides the project manager with the authority to apply organizational resources to project activities. It typically includes the project's purpose, high-level objectives, key stakeholders, and the assigned project manager, making it a critical document at the initiation stage. For example, without a signed project charter, a project manager might not have the authority to form a team or allocate budget. The project charter is your foundational document, providing legitimacy and authority for the project. Question 18. A project manager is performing stakeholder analysis and determines that a particular stakeholder has high power and high interest in the project. According to stakeholder engagement strategies, how should this stakeholder be managed? A. Keep informed. B. Manage closely. C. Keep satisfied. D. Monitor. Answer: B. Manage closely. For stakeholders with high power and high interest, the most appropriate strategy is to manage closely. This means actively engaging them, involving them in key decisions, and ensuring their needs and expectations are continuously met. They can significantly impact the project's success or failure, so their close involvement is paramount. For example, conducting regular one-on-one meetings and seeking their input on major decisions would be essential. Never underestimate the importance of managing your most influential and interested stakeholders. They can be your biggest allies or obstacles. Question 19. The project team is in the process of identifying risks. They are brainstorming potential threats and opportunities that could affect the project objectives. Which technique would be most appropriate for this activity? A. SWOT analysis. B. Root cause analysis. C. Trend analysis. D. Reserve analysis. Answer: A. SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, is a common strategic planning technique that helps identify and analyze internal factors, strengths and weaknesses, and external factors, opportunities and threats. In project risk management, the opportunities and threats components of SWOT are particularly useful for brainstorming and identifying potential risks that could affect the project, making it an excellent technique for initial risk identification. For instance, a new market trend, opportunity, or a competitor's new product, threat, could be identified. Use SWOT to broadly scan your project environment for both positive and negative future possibilities. Question 20. In a traditional project environment, after the project management plan is approved, a project manager identifies a potential improvement to a process that could save the project significant time and money. What should the project manager do next? A. Implement the change immediately to realize the benefits. B. Document the process improvement and discuss it at the next project review meeting. C. Raise a change request and submit it for formal approval through the Perform Integrated Change Control process. D. Wait until the project is complete to propose the improvement for future projects. Answer: C. Raise a change request and submit it for formal approval through the Perform Integrated Change Control process. Any significant change to the project management plan, even if it's an improvement, must go through the formal Perform Integrated Change Control process in a traditional project environment. This ensures that the change is properly evaluated for its impact on scope, schedule, cost, and quality, and that all relevant stakeholders approve it before implementation. Bypassing this process can lead to unauthorized changes and project instability. For example, a change that saves time in one area might create a bottleneck elsewhere. Always adhere to formal change control for project integrity and consistency. Question 21. A project team is using Scrum. The product owner is struggling to convey the user stories clearly to the development team, leading to frequent misunderstandings and rework. What Agile practice would best help improve this communication and understanding? A. Daily stand-ups. B. Co-location. C. Product backlog refinement. D. Sprint retrospective. Answer: C. Product backlog refinement. Product backlog refinement, previously called grooming, is an ongoing process where the product owner and the development team collaboratively add detail, estimates, and order to the product backlog items. This collaborative activity helps the team understand the user stories better, clarify requirements, and break down larger items into smaller, more manageable pieces. For instance, during refinement, the team might ask questions, discuss technical implications, and ensure everyone has a shared understanding of what needs to be built. Regular refinement ensures the backlog is ready for upcoming sprints and minimizes misunderstandings. Question 22. A project manager is evaluating the project's progress and notes that the project has completed 40% of the planned work, but only 30% of the budget has been spent. What does this indicate about the project's performance? A. The project is behind schedule and over budget. B. The project is ahead of schedule and under budget. C. The project is behind schedule and under budget. D. The project is ahead of schedule and over budget. Answer: B. The project is ahead of schedule and under budget. This scenario describes a project that is progressing more efficiently than planned. Completing 40% of the work while only spending 30% of the budget indicates that the project is delivering more value for the money spent, suggesting it is both ahead of its planned progress and under its planned cost. In earned value management terms, this typically means a positive schedule variance, SV, and a positive cost variance, CV, or a schedule performance index, SPI, greater than 1 and a cost performance index, CPI, greater than 1. This is generally a favorable project status. Question 23. A project manager is managing a project where requirements are expected to evolve frequently. The project's primary goal is to deliver value quickly and respond to changing customer needs. Which project life cycle approach would be most suitable for this project? A. Predictive, waterfall. B. Adaptive, agile. C. Hybrid. D. Iterative. Answer: B. Adaptive, agile. An adaptive, agile life cycle is ideal for projects with evolving requirements and a need for rapid delivery of value. It emphasizes flexibility, iterative development, and continuous feedback from stakeholders, allowing the project to quickly adjust to changes and incorporate new information. For example, developing a new online service where user feedback is critical would thrive in an agile environment. In contrast, a predictive, waterfall approach would struggle with frequent changes, as it defines scope up front and resists modifications later on. Choose adaptive approaches when change is expected and value delivery is paramount. Question 24. A project manager is performing closing activities for a completed project. Which of the following is a key outcome of the close project or phase process? A. Creation of the work breakdown structure, WBS. B. Formal acceptance of the final product, service, or result. C. Development of the project management plan. D. Identification of project risks. Answer: B. Formal acceptance of the final product, service, or result. Formal acceptance of the final product, service, or result by the client or sponsor is a critical outcome of the close project or phase process. This step signifies that the project has met its objectives and deliverables are officially handed over, allowing the project to be formally closed. It acts as a final validation that the work is complete and accepted, paving the way for the project team to be released and lessons learned to be documented. Ensuring formal acceptance prevents ambiguity about project completion and allows the project manager to transition the deliverables smoothly. Question 25. A project manager needs to ensure that the project team understands and adheres to the quality standards and procedures. Which document would be the primary source for this information? A. Scope baseline. B. Risk management plan. C. Quality management plan. D. Communications management plan. Answer: C. Quality management plan. The quality management plan is a component of the project management plan that describes how the organization's quality policies will be implemented, detailing the activities, standards, and metrics that will be applied to the project. It serves as the primary source for the team to understand quality requirements, how quality will be assured, and how quality control will be performed. For instance, it might specify testing procedures, defect thresholds, and audit schedules. This plan is crucial for ensuring that the project delivers products or services that meet the specified quality criteria.